The 2024-25 A-League season has brought us a great variety of kits, and in today's video, it's a bit of a fun one. We're going to go through and rank all 14 A-League clubs' kits, including the new club Auckland FC, Canberra United as well, jumping in from last place, 14th for me. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Mariners fan. I do have Newcastle Jets, and I think this is more of a subjective thing. And look, this list is subjective, and I'm sure plenty of you will disagree with me. But Newcastle Jets, I don't know whether it's just I'm not the biggest fan of the color scheme, the gold, the red and the blue. Look, I like that they're sort of, it's a bit of a throwback kit. It's sort of referencing some of the kits from their early seasons. I did really like Newcastle Jets kit from last season. I thought that was a really clean design. Maybe it's just the design here of the red coming down, the blue on the sides as well. You've got sort of those diagonal stripes on the kit as well. Look, if you're a Newcastle Jets fan, you probably love this kit, and it is reminiscent of those early jerseys from those early years as well, when Newcastle Jets, you know, they won their championship back in 2008, wearing a kit not too dissimilar to this as well. But for me, just like not to my taste, so it's coming in at 14th. 13th place, and this may well be a surprise to some people, it is Melbourne Victory. Look, they've gone for the classic V. I like it. I just personally, the collar just doesn't really work for me. I don't know what it is. I mean, Melbourne Victory's kits from the last couple of seasons I thought looked really cool, but the collar and the V, something that just doesn't look right there, out of place. That might just be me. Would love to hear from you guys, but it's not my favorite Victory kit that I've seen in recent years. I do like the sizing of the V. We've seen like over the years, sometimes it's been a lot smaller or a lot bigger as well, but it doesn't take up too much of the shirt, and it's an iconic part of Victory's kit. I love when they do include it. Collar, I don't know whether it's just like maybe the white sort of line going around the side of it as well, but just doesn't work for me. Next up, I'm going for Melbourne City, and look, this isn't a bad kit. I think for me, just the white stripe down the middle, just I don't know, it's just an interesting design choice. I do like how it matches sort of that white trim on the sleeves there. We've seen City pull out some fantastic kits over the years, and again, I think from here on out the kits are actually pretty good. I am, a fan of most of the kits that were brought out this season, but that white stripe down the middle, I don't know, just looks a little bit out of place for me. I do like how the white stripe does break to sort of go around the sponsor there in the middle of the shirt. Overall, a decent kit, but maybe not City's best in recent years. In 11th, I've got Wellington Phoenix. This is actually really clean design. I'm a big fan of when they have sort of the stripe down the sides there as well. I think it's the collar that maybe just doesn't quite do it for me. I love the way sort of the logo looks on the kit, but yeah, that black collar, you can sort of see how it wraps around, and it's sort of a bit disconnected from that bit at the front there. It's this very simplistic design. A lot of people were a big fan of the kit that Wellington put out last year, and I thought that was a really nice design. They sort of had the subtle sort of like pattern on it, and this one a much more sort of cleaner, simplistic design. Again, it's not a terrible football jersey, don't get me wrong. It's a really nice kit from Wellington Phoenix, but again, maybe not the best we've seen in recent years. 10th place for me is Sydney FC. Again, a very sort of simple kit for Sydney, a very safe kit. I do like sort of the trim around the collar here there with the navy blue, and it's almost like, I was going to say white, but it's almost like a sky blue there, like an even lighter blue. Same thing on the end of the sleeves as well. And then they've got sort of this subtle pattern here of the Sydney Opera House, which I do like. It is a nice touch. It's obviously a key feature of Sydney FC's logo, and they've got that sort of subtly sort of, I don't know whether you call that embroidered on the shirt. It looks cool. I do like that little design, but overall, it's a safe and a nice shirt from Sydney FC. A nice little touch. They've included the orange on the inside. I don't know whether that's sort of, harking back to the orange that they had on their old logo from, their early seasons. Maybe that might be a reference to that. In 9th place for me is Western Sydney Wanderers and their red and black home kit, of course, the classic red and black hoops. This is literally the same kit from last season, except they just reversed the colors, it seems. So last year it was predominantly black, and even the back of the shirt was all black, and they had the red stripes, the red hoops going around. And this time it's just a reverse of that. They've still got sort of that white Adidas, sort of the lines on the top there of the shoulders. But I personally, I preferred last year's kit. I thought the black was really striking. Still obviously had the red hoops in there, but this kit much more red. I do like it when they certainly implement a bit more black in their kit. So look, I do love the design. The Adidas design looks really clean. You got the Adidas logo in the middle there. But for me, I think last year's kit, which was one of my favorites of all time across the entire league, I thought it was fantastic. This one just doesn't quite match up to last year's one for me. In 8th place, I've got my Central Coast Mariners, and I do like this kit. It's a clean design. I like how they've incorporated a bit more white into the kit as well. You can see sort of there's thin lines around the middle, even a lot of white on the collar as well. And in another video, we're going to be talking about some of the third and away kits as well. And there's definitely some ones from the Mariners that I really dig this year. Obviously the gold A-League logo as well. So another clean design. It is quite reminiscent of the kit that we saw a few years ago from the Mariners, where we've sort of had this navy blue strip where the sponsor is. I do like it. I'd love to see Mariners try something different in future years. I'm a big fan of the palm tree. I think we should try and incorporate that a little bit more into the kit. We remember, it was probably almost 10 years ago now, we had that palm tree on the kit, and it got some mixed response at the time. But I think looking back at it, a lot of the fans are fond of that jersey. I think it's a really unique design, and I'd love to see us go for something different next year. But again, a really clean kit overall from the Mariners this year. 7th place, I'm going for Brisbane Roar, and I really dig what Roar did this year, sort of going back a very sort of retro look, harkening back to their first ever year in the A-League, incorporating the blue in there, even sort of the maroon coloring on the sides that you can see. And I mean, the pictures don't show here, but the full kit that they have, it's sort of, they've got the blue shorts, and then I believe the socks are maroon as well. It's a really sort of unique color scheme, and I like how they've brought it back. For the last few years now, they've had sort of just the orange top and the black shorts for like the last decade, and for the past few years, it's sort of been the same thing, sort of over and over again, mostly for Brisbane Roar. But this is bold, it's striking. The orange and blue is a really sort of, really striking color scheme there. And I really like how they've sort of gone for that throwback. And we've seen it again, similar to sort of Newcastle Jets going for that throwback design. Really cool from Brisbane Roar. In 6th place, I've gone for Macarthur SC, and I really do like when teams have gone for sort of a bold and striking design. And I think we've got one here with sort of the lightning bolt design here in Macarthur's kits. And I do like how they've gone for the black and white stripes again. We saw that from them last year, and I really liked Macarthur's kit last year. I thought it was a really nice design. Obviously, it's a famous football kit, with teams like Newcastle United and Juventus over in Europe wearing the kit, but wearing sort of that design. But I really dig this one, and they've got their own little touch in it with that sort of the gold trim around the collar and the sleeves, matching the color of the sponsor there and the logo in the middle of the shirt. But the lightning bolt design is just really cool. It's a unique design. It's bold, and I think it looks really striking. And just this is the kind of kit I could see just Macarthur fans sort of wearing out in the street. It's just a really cool design. I really dig it. We are down to the top 5, and coming in 5th place, I've got Canberra United's kit for this season. They've put out some cracking kits in recent years, and this one's fantastic for me. I'm a big fan of the green color scheme. It's obviously not a color that we see all that often in football kits, and we do have Western United coming up in the list as well. But I love the way that they've blended sort of that dark green and the brighter green as well. A really neat design. The collar looks clean, the logo looks clean on it, and just love the whole look of this kit. Again, just a big fan of the green overall. 4th place in my ranking of A-League kits, Western United, again with the green there, and this is probably my favorite kit that Western United have released in their short history. Obviously, we've seen the green and black stripes pretty much every season, but I really dig this one. I think the use of the collar in this kit does work for Western United. I like how the stripes are a lot thinner. We've generally seen sort of the thicker green and black stripes, a thinner design here, and it just looks really nice. I haven't been a big fan of Kappa's kits over the years, but I think this one looks absolutely great, man. It's just a really clean design with the green and black stripes, and a big fan of this one from Western United. And I love what they did for the photo shoot of the kit as well, with the nice looking house in the background. A really nice design from Western. Top 3 A-League kits, and I've got Auckland FC in 3rd. Their inaugural kit. I'm a big fan of the design, man. Again, we've got the stripes. We've got a lot of teams sort of rocking the stripes, but I think the blue and black is just such a striking color combination. I think it looks great, and seeing it on the field, it looks absolutely awesome. I don't mind how they have sort of those really like thin stripes running down as well, but the blue and black looks great. Just the color scheme overall, just personally, I'm a big fan of it. I think it's a classic football design, but they make it look really good, and I'm really excited to see what they do with this color scheme going forward in future seasons. And I'd like to see them, I'd love to see them not necessarily just stick to the stripes, go for experiment, go for different sort of designs, be creative with that color scheme, because the blue and black looks great, and there's a lot you could certainly do with it, but a great kit for Auckland's first season. And in 2nd place, I've got Adelaide United. This is maybe my favorite Reds kit of all time. I just think the design, it's always interesting with sort of the minimalist, sort of simplistic designs. It can either look a little bit boring, a little bit nothing, but this one is fantastic. fantastic. I think the subtle pattern on the shirt does a lot to sort of, push it up my list personally. It's got the city of the churches down on the bottom of the kit. And it is, an all red kit. We've seen in the last couple of years at times, they've gone for sort of like the navy shorts, mixed in some different colors there. But, they are the Reds, and they are well and truly the Reds with a kit like this. I love the logo too. I think that looks awesome. The way it's sort of got that all white design there looks really, really clean on the kit. If I was a Reds fan, I would be snapping up this jersey, that's for sure. And that means my favorite home kit of the 2024-25 season is Perth Glory. Yes, they haven't made a great start to this season. They're bottom of the A-League table, but they're top of the list when it comes to kits this year. I just love the design. I think it's great. The purple and orange is a really striking design, and I love that they've leaned into that color scheme once again. Sort of the subtle stripes there look really, really cool. And again, sort of the all purple there with the orange trim on the socks, on the shorts, and of course on the collar and the sleeves of the shirt as well. Just looks great. This may well be my favorite Perth kit of all time. They've had some good ones over the years, some not so great ones, but this design is just fantastic. And again, it might just come down to the color scheme. I love the colors of the purple and the orange. I think they work really, really well together. And I love that they've, again, leaned into that for this year. A really, really great A-League kit. So they look fantastic on the field, Perth Glory, this season, but unfortunately their football hasn't been all that great so far. So there's my ranking of all 14 A-League home kits. What's your favorite home kit from this season? Let me know in the comments, and keep an eye out on the channel. We'll be doing a separate video ranking all the away and third kits from this season. Thanks so much for tuning into Oz Watch Football. Subscribe for more A-League content. My name's Lockie, and I'll see you in the next one.